Welcome back to the Blocks Retro Repair YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going back through and finishing, hopefully, the rest of what's in this room, getting it all itemized and boxed up. Let's get started on box 3. First, we're going to go with this one here. I think it has some pinball and some jukebox parts in it. There's some pinball shooters, and I believe that is a jukebox counter unit. So let's go through and see what else is in here. There's something pretty cool. It's not going to go in the totes because it's not a part. It's just an old vintage toy. Appears to be this one here. This is the only thing I can find it on. This person selling one on eBay. Mine appears to be in slightly better condition, though mine's missing the sticker and this wire's cut up front, but that's pretty cool. This is also pretty cool. I actually recently saw a TikTok explaining what these are. This one here is from Ontario, Canada. These are little license plate key tags. Very cool. They're not really worth anything, but it's a cool little thing. Here's an old video card. I'm not sure this would have been in an arcade machine. I'm not sure where this would have came from. These are extremely cool. These are actually old photos of Seeburg jukeboxes, I believe promotional images. They unfortunately have been rolled for so many years, they're really difficult to unroll, so I'm going to see if I can get these to flatten out. We'll take a look at them. This right here is pretty cool. This is off a Wurlitzer 800, this jukebox right here. It's that panel right there. Judging by the condition of this thing, I would have loved to have seen the jukebox it came off of, because that thing had to be absolutely demolished. Here's a cool piece of chrome trim off a 1940s Seeburg, well, trash can jukebox. It is the left side trim right there. That's very cool. If I was able to find a buyer for this, I'm sure they'd pay a pretty penny for it, but how many of those jukeboxes are missing that piece of trim? Tone arm holder off a Wurlitzer Model 24, 500 or 600. It is right there on the Model 24. Super cool. This is from around the 30s. This right here is not only a 1950s vintage Bakelite outlet, this is actually most likely out of an old jukebox or possibly an arcade or pinball machine as a service outlet. So while it's a cool vintage outlet, it's also an arcade part. So it goes in the arcade bins. I have absolutely no ideas what these are from, but these are lead. That's pretty cool. This right here, I believe, is a scrap box of what was just thrown in here. It was scrap, judging by the fact that it had just top half of a power supply and a definitely demolished amplifier. It's just like that. Those are definitely just scrap. I'm going to scrap them, but I'm curious what else was considered scrap to this guy. Personally, I don't see that as scrap or a wooden ball. That looks like a perfectly normal joystick to me. It looks fine. I don't know why that was in there. A Touch Tunes Field Service business card, very cool, and a Reiko arcade ticket. That's cool. I have no idea where that arcade is. Well, I found the bottom plate to that amplifier, and maybe I'll pull that back out of this scrap bin. I found this completely blank black box, and I feel like if I smoked this, I would either wake up in a completely new dimension or die immediately. What the fuck? I feel like that's something you smoke. And there we have it. We're now on to box 5 being finished. And let me tell you, there's a lot of shit in that box. I believe box 4 has 11 photos because most of it's just one item. And the other ones usually have around 100. I think this one has like 250 photos. I may have overfilled it. But let's continue. Box 6 might end up being the heaviest, judging by how many new old stock motors I'm putting in it. That big box there is a giant transformer as well. These things weigh a little bit. These motors here have been in storage for quite a long time. The newspaper that surrounds them is dated 1978, so they've been in storage for a while. This box is super cool and probably super valuable to the correct person. There's a whole bunch of chrome pieces off a 1948 Wurlitzer Model 1100. This is extremely cool. We have the fancy W piece from the top there. We have that part there, which is one of these pieces here. We have the little tunes plate there that goes there. Not sure where that goes or if it's for this jukebox, but it's in that box, so it might. And we have both front corners and one of the side chromes. Extremely cool. We also have a record tray, the upper chromes, the side chromes. Don't know if those go to the jukebox, but again, they're in the box. So I'm going to assume this box is mostly parts from a Wurlitzer Model 1100. These are extremely valuable to the correct person because these jukeboxes are insanely expensive. That's awesome. Look what I just found. I found some of these fancy volcano-shaped buttons. And you know what these are for? Centipede! Now, it's used in a few other games as well, but look, mine's missing its player 2 button. It has been missing the 2-player button since I've had the machine, so let's install this thing and, well, make it complete. There we go. As you can see, same kind of button. So let's get this thing wired up and mount it in. And there we go. Look at that. Awesome. Looks great. Perfect. Well, that was incredibly convenient to find. That's not an arcade part, but sure, I guess if I ever run across a 2008 to 2020 Dodge Ram, I have the tailgate logo. Also got these. I can't tell if they're arcade related or if they're fucking turn signal knobs off of old vehicles. Not sure about that one. Just found this old pocket scale. Looks like it can weigh anything from 0 to 2 ounces. That's pretty damn cool. Found this Tron plastic, which appears to be the Tron insert off of a Tron arcade game. That joystick insert right there. That's super cool. I don't know if this is original or remanufacture, but I can't really tell. But if it's original, it might be worth like $2 or so. Now, let's finally finish everything that's in here and get this finished being cleaned up. We have some glass there, a bunch of glass right there. I'm going to make a giant pile of glass. We have some posters there, a bunch of records. That stuff needs put away. We got that thing there. A lot of it's going to be scrapped because that's all waterlogged, so it's all rusty and stuff. We got some flooring nails and a bunch of other random junk. We have some Need for Speed flyers. Now, I found these Seeburg advertising photos a while ago, and while I've had weight on them, crushing them, trying to be flat, they still want to roll up, but let's just take a look at them and see what all we got here. As you can see, these are advertising photos, maybe even the originals, for a 1972 Seeburg SPS 160. That is super cool. Let's take a look at the rest of these things. Here's one with the top off, so you can see the electronics inside. Somebody using the dollar bill acceptor. Somebody showing off the removable panels. One showing all the record labels. One with all the panels off and the upper panel open there. That's super cool as well. There's another one of the top part here. It looks like they've pulled out the circuit board section. And here's one from a slightly angled view. Now these are incredibly cool. I don't really know why they're not in color, because, well, 1972, they should have been in color. All the advertisements for this jukebox are in color. So originally I would have figured that maybe these were the original advertising photos for this jukebox, but they would have been in color for that, I think. So I don't know what they are. I don't know why they're in black and white. So I guess I'm gonna have to frame these things because they're incredibly cool, but I have no idea what they're from. Going through some posters, we got 8 of these 1982 Frankie and the Knockouts posters. Some 1981 National Geographic Society photos. Very cool. How the fuck did I end up with a 2008 Segway promotion image? What the fuck? Okay. And we're basically done for now in this building. There's still vacuum tubes there and some other stuff that's not going to go into the main storage. They're still sitting there. Vacuum tubes are waiting because I know there's more vacuum tubes that are going to go in there that are in the trailer. And same with the records. So, without further ado, let's go take a look at the trailer. Man, I had almost forgotten how much stuff is in here. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like, genuinely insane. There is so much stuff here. A ton of amps, so I think I'm just going to have to build some shelving specifically for these amps. Because if I were to put these in totes, I'd end up with a tote that weighs like 400 pounds. And obviously I don't want that. So, there is a stupid amount of stuff in here. There is so much valuable stuff in here. It's crazy, but again, it's worth absolutely nothing unless I sell it, or at least know what it is. I pulled this box out of the trailer because I had a whole bunch of paperwork at the bottom, and I wanted to see what the paperwork was, obviously. So, let's go through it, and I found something I was very much not expecting. Obviously, an arcade machine cell flyer, to be expected. A Seeburg manual, again, to be expected. This is the kind of stuff you'd expect to be there. And well, this is not what I expected to be here. These are the blueprints for a Tilt arcade in the Phillipsburg Mall in New Jersey, which is nowhere near me, so I don't know how I ended up with these, but these are really cool, and, well, let's go through them and see what's here. Now, unfortunately, that mall's permanently closed now, so we can't really plan any heists, but they're still pretty cool. Looks like right here we got our Tilt logo, we got their storefront, we got the site map. Looks like it's for this little block right there in the mall. Looks like there was a Sears, very cool. Let's go through this a little bit more. Right here is the entranceway, and here is the floor plan. It looks like they had their giant game room. They had just a one-stall restroom and then storage there. I'm gonna assume that restroom was for employees only, but as you can see, pretty cool. And we can also see that it was approved in 1989. Right here we have the room finish schedule. We also have over here the different detailed items, like they were painting stuff blue. They painted the door frames gray. Some general notes, some fire extinguisher setup, some door schedule. Very cool. And here is the interior elevations. We have some column details. Very cool. Here's the power floor plan. As you can see, they were putting outlets fucking everywhere. And here is their lighting plan. Very cool. And here's their HVAC and mechanical plan. Very cool. It looks like they're running a 3-phase air conditioner on the roof. Very, very cool. It looks like this section was voided, but it looks like it was approved again in 1989. And here is the landlord's construction standards, apparently. And here's just a bunch more details. This is actually pretty cool. Originally, I was thinking these were just some random blueprints, but knowing they're actually from an arcade is pretty cool. Albeit one I never went to, but still very cool. I'm gonna leave it there. If you like what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe. As you saw, we're not even halfway done with this stuff, so there's plenty more treasures to find.